Hello, class. Hello, friend. My name is Sherilyn Habersham, and today I would like to speak to you in regards to problem employees. Yes, we all have them. Some are very identifiable, and some are not. And some aren't just employees, they be family members as well. But we're not talking about that. Okay, so with problem employees, we're going to try to identify some of them and their ways. Some are identified as slackers, lacking motivation, just non productive altogether. Some are identified as new employees who aren't familiar with the ways of the workplace. Some are veterans that they know everything and don't have to. They can rely on their fellow employees to pick up their slack. But either way, there are identifying ways of noting when you have a problem employee. Now, this next slide is employees as an individual. But not only as an individual, there could be a group as well. They could be in a group as well. When identifying them, you want to take into consideration the employee as a person, what they're dealing with. You want to be able to talk to them and find out what's going on. Not get too personal, but just make sure that you can relate in some way in order to identify what the issue is. And if they're too idle, give them something that they can do. Make them a little more productive, even if it isn't their job. Maybe it's just the fact that they're sitting idle still, not doing anything, and maybe even on their phone. And what we're trying to do is get them away from that. Okay? Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Now here, I've presented a few things to keep in mind when dealing with a problem employee, or any employee for that matter. Being a good listener, that is key, one main thing of all things. Listening is a very important skill to have as a supervisor or a manager, because that's also a good way of communicating to your staff. You want to be able to hear them out, understand where the troubles lie, and communicate not a problem, but you want to communicate the problem, to how the problem can be solved. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, and of all things, you must respect one another. You gotta have respect. Everyone should respect one another unless one is being very disrespectful. In that case, you don't want to retaliate with the disrespect, because as my girl Michelle said, when they go low, you go high. Okay, and you never want to argue. Never argue, because all it does is it just feeds into the problem employee. It gives them more assertiveness into their argument, and you don't want to do that. What you want to do with a person or an employee who wants to argue with you is go back to the first thing. Listen to their complaints. Listen to what it is they have to say, and find out if it's something that can be done. You want to be a team player throughout this whole situation. Okay, and next is another employee that we can view, which is the absentee employee. Boy, do I not like this person. They don't show up for work, they have no valid excuses, and it kind of interrupts the day. Sometimes you can't help being absent from work because, things happen. We have lives outside of work. It's understandable. But you don't want an excessive absentee worker. It causes problems. Okay? On this next slide, I tell you ways of decreasing absenteeism. Okay, you want to be clear and concise in what you want from your employees, the veterans as well as the new ones. You want to let them know that being absent is not an excused absence is not tolerable, and you want to let them know that disciplinary actions will take place if it is continued. You don't want to use that like as a scare tactic per se, but you want to let them know that you can't just take advantage of your employer's time and money, because absenteeism does work that way. Also, excuse me, there's a cost to absenteeism, a cost in production, a cost financially. It makes me as the manager slash supervisor have to take on extra work already on a busy work schedule. Or we could just leave the work to when you come back in. But sometimes that work can't be left for the next day or for the next person. It needs to be done right then and there. It's costly. It messes with the productivity. It slows you down. It could be costly because now I have to maybe find someone to replace you if you take a leave of absence. Now that's wages and training them and new hires, and then we have to go through it all over again. So it can decrease productivity within the group because now I have to pull someone off of that to do the work that is required, and we need someone in place for that. So we don't need anyone to be absent. We need people that we could depend on and rely on. And here we are with the Employee Assistance Program. This is a great program. Most employers have this kind of program in place. It kind of generally helps with, I guess, in-house therapy, you could say. Being a part of a group or a part of an organization that provides an employee assistance program, it means that they care. It means that they want to help in any way possible to get through the trials and tribulations that you could be facing. And they keep everything in-house. It doesn't have to be exposed. It doesn't have to go anywhere besides you and whoever you are referred to see to assist you in such a program. We all go through daily trials and tribulations, as you can see, and sometimes it affects our work, but we don't want it to affect our work. That's why we have such a program in place, and it was developed in the late 70s due to work productivity. Now, this is a very good program. We like this program, and as I said before, we like to work as a team, because organizations that work together and come together, how they say it, dream work makes the team work, and I'm all for being a part of a great team. Thank you.